What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you stopping by for the first time, if you see something that you like here today, please don't forget to subscribe at some point. Those of you stopping by that have been here before, welcome back to TLTG Reviews, my friends. Glad you came to see me. So today, we're actually going to be discussing a fragrance that I had been wanting for a very long time. Ended up picking it up from our friends over at 7fragrance.com, and I was shocked at how realistic the honey note is in this thing. It's sweet, it's powdery, it's floral. It's from Roberto Cavalli Uomo. Stay tuned.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
So this thing was an absolute delight, and I have partnered with 7fragrance.com many times here in the recent memory, and they absolutely are very competitive with their prices. They carry designer and niche from extremely cheap on up to heavily discounted prices on a lot of popular niche fragrances. Make sure you check them out. The link is in the description below. Starting off with this presentation, you can see the standard Uomo line box has that almost crocodile texture to it. It's just cardboard. Name of the fragrance, size and concentration on the bottom. This is a 60 milliliter bottle. Batch code information, fragrance information on the back. Nothing on the top, nothing on the sides. Decent little box, nothing special. Now in regards to this bottle, it has that Roberto Cavalli, kind of the RC logo that's on all their bottles. At least all the bottles I've seen. My wife does have a couple Roberto Cavalli fragrances. This is my first Roberto Cavalli fragrance. Beautiful texturing. Shows the name of the fragrance. Has that crocodile style print in the glass on both sides. Fragrance information on the bottom. Big cap, does click into place. Holds very well, gold atomizer. And the cap is solid plastic. I mean, this is kind of like a aluminum right here, paint like an anodized aluminum filled with plastic. It has a little bit of heft to it, but it doesn't have a ton of weight, but it's definitely not light. Very durable, and the atomizer does its job. Oh man, and that juice. Let's talk about the scent. So this was released in 2016. It's classified as an oriental fragrance. I'll put the notes right there for you. So in the opening on this one, it's very dominant in florals, from the lavender and the violet, and it's very sweet up top. The honey in this is very, very realistic to my nose. I feel like this is not an overly synthetic honey note. The sweetness and the scent of the honey is very genuine. It's very delectable, it smells delicious, and it blends very well with this violet and this lavender. It's strong aromatic up top, and then once you start getting into that transition, it really gets a bit more powdery and a lot more floral. It's very violet dominant, this fragrance. The violet and the honey are the most prominent notes through and through, from start to finish. They hang out the entire time. And the lavender hangs out for several hours until it starts to fade. The aromatic quality tends to burn off. And then the tonka bean really comes up. I don't ever really get any patchouli or anything like that. The saffron just kind of has that undertone of well-rounded spice in the background, all the way from start to finish, being really, really faint in that dry down, because in the dry down it's mainly that violet, the honey, and then some tonka bean. The tonka bean and the violet mixed together does make this quite a powdery fragrance, but it smooths over very well because the honey really blends it in well. It's not overly powdery. If it wasn't for the sweet aspect of the tonka and that richness of the honey, it probably would be overly powdery. But the way they did this is distributed by Coty. The way they did this with their perfumer, it's blended fantastically. It really is. I really believe if it wasn't for that honey note, this might be overly powdery, but it just works. The scent on this one is absolutely gorgeous, and for that I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Now moving into longevity, I did get about 8 hours until it got really, really close to the skin, to where it was a classification of a skin scent, which I would consider where I got to really get my nose on my skin to really smell it. You know, I was expecting it to maybe be a little more than that, so I was kind of surprised. I was thinking more in the 9 to 10 hour range, but for what you can get one of these for in the $20 range, the mid 20s, low 20s, And for the scent that it has, 8 hours is plenty. That's a work day for most people. Could be a little cloying if you're out in the heat all day, which I was inside most of the day. So it wasn't really, I actually had somebody comment on my scent of the day post on if it was too cloying for the heat. And if you work if you have a labor job where you're outside in the heat all day, yeah, this probably isn't the best fragrance for that. But climate control environment, you can wear it year round if you like these types of fragrances. And the performance on it was perfectly fine with 8 hours. For that, it's another 8 out of 10. Now, projection, it's relatively heavy for the first 2 hours. And then you do have a pretty good scent trail for, I would say, another 4 hours beyond that. Once you get to about the 5.5, 6 hour mark is when it really starts to get close to the skin. You definitely get plenty of wafts of this. People can smell you very, very easy with Roberto Cavalli Uomo. This stuff is absolutely fantastic. It's the right amount of projection you would want for this type of scent profile where it's floral and sweet and has a strong tonka bean base with some powder. You want this to have a little bit of oomph to it, and this absolutely does. And in projection, I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10 as well. So it's 8s across the board. So you may have guessed it. Overall, Roberto Cavalli Uomo is absolutely an 8 out of 10 fragrance in my opinion. This stuff's great. Mark it off of the list. Happy to have it. Of course, you know this means war. Now I gotta have Silver Essence, Deep Desire, Le Note, however you say it. I'm gonna have to get the whole line because the base DNA is fantastic. I will be getting Silver Essence next. It is next on my list. I love a good violet leaf fragrance with some orris. I'm sure that's gonna be great. That's gonna be just as good as this, if not better, in my mind anyways. That's what I'm thinking. Fantastic fragrance. Thank you again to 7fragrance.com for sending this out for review. This was sent to me for free, but it was my own opinions. They're not paying me in any way. That's not an affiliate link with them below. It's just, you know, a little advertising type of thing. They send me a fragrance. I review it, good, bad, or indifferent. I've reviewed a few fragrances with them now. Very, very good guy that runs the place. And he's got very, very competitive prices. I urge you, definitely check them out. Once again, link is in the description below. And they have a lot of their inventory on Instagram as well. I'll actually put their Instagram page right below the link to their website in case you want to check them out. And until next time, guys, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. How many of you already have this or have tried it? Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comments. It's definitely bordering that love territory for me. I have some strong feelings about this one. I really, really enjoyed wearing this one. Probably going to bust it out more once it starts to cool down a little bit more. But it made such a strong impression on me that I really want to get more from the line, if not the entire line, throughout the rest of this year. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on Roberto Cavalli Uomo and give it a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.
A drill.